Jenks, if you would please cut that beat. Welcome in. If you stumbled upon us, thanks for stopping in. If you meant to click on us, that's even better. I'm Casey Kurtz, and welcome to the first ever episode of Fantasy From The Fairway, a brand new podcast web show that we're trying to do here, all about fantasy golf, daily fantasy golf, and whatnot. We're excited. We've had this idea for a little while, and as I say I welcome in my co-host each and every week, Jenks himself, Kevin Lyons. Kevin, how you doing?
Doing great. I'm excited. I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
Agreed. A little bit quickly about us and why we're doing this. We both just graduated college. No one's trying to hire us. We have some time on our hands. I went to school for journalism. Jenks went to school for a bunch of different things. And look, we got some free time. We play fantasy sports. We think we know what we're talking about in the golf world, so we're going to share what we got with the people. If you like it, please like, subscribe. If you think we're dumb, please leave a comment. We just want to hear from the people, and at the end of the day, hopefully help you guys win some money. So as we said, this is the first episode, so we hope this goes well. We're expecting about 45 minutes per episode here, and we know that most people don't have that time, and we understand that, so we're going to do it. We're gonna do as much as we can and give all the information we can. At the bottom in the comments, you will see timestamps of each and every price range, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, all the way through to our picks at the very end. So that way, if you need somebody in the 7K range and you don't have time to watch the 40-minute video, we understand that. I probably wouldn't watch it either, to be honest, but click on that timestamp and you'll be ready to roll. So we've already wasted a couple minutes. Now that you know who we are, let's get into it. All right, so as we're going to do each and every week here before we get started, we're going to check on our highlights from last week. Obviously, we were not doing a show last week. We did a mock just to see how bad we were going to do, and we did surprisingly better than expected. Not that it was any good, but anyway, let's get into it real quick. All of our lineups placed in both DraftKings and FanDuel, so that was a win overall. These are some of our better selections that were not straightforward. I guess you could say Denny McCarthy, the putting wizard, did well. Wesley Bryan, you will soon find out on this show that we are pretty much just a Wesley Bryan fan club. If he's in the field, you need him. He's not ever been priced over 6,500 or 6,700, I think, which is pretty much insane with this guy. And Corey Connors, he was priced in the 9K range. I went with him in only one lineup, and it worked out. He played well. He didn't win, obviously, but top 20 in the 9K range I will take when I have Wesley Bryan also finishing Tringale. I only had one missed the cut in every single lineup I had. So we'll do that every week and let you know if we were wrong, if we were right. More so if we were right. If we're wrong, we'll probably just blow past it. Anyway, moving forward into this week, we are at TPC Summerlin, and I'm going to throw it over to our course expert, Kevin Lyons. Kevin, what are they playing on this week?
Yeah, so they're heading out west this week to Las Vegas, Nevada. It's going to be a par 71 that sits at 7,131 yards. It was designed by Bobby Weed, who worked very, very closely with Pete Dye and is a very respected architect of golf courses. They'll be playing on Bermuda grass fairways, bent grass greens, and the greens, it is worth mentioning, they're massive. They're massive this week, some of the biggest greens on tour. They average over 7,500 square feet per green, and the cut's going to be usually sitting around 3 to 5 under depending on the year. Hopping over to the previous three winners, we have Kevin Na, who finished at 23 under, DeChambeau, who finished at 21 under, and then Cantlay at 9 under. Most of the scoring, the winners, you're going to have to shoot very, very low. The year Cantlay won at 9 under, there were some interesting conditions. It was very windy. It was a little bit colder that year, and it kind of just threw off the scoring. But with that being said, I think the key stats this week are going to be strokes gained putting. If you watched the tournament last year, Kevin Na went on an absolute putting parade where it seemed every time he was on the green, he was sinking a putt. We're going to be looking at birdie or better percentage just because of the fact that you are going to have to go very, very low in order to win this tournament. And par 4 scoring. And it is worth mentioning 4 of the last 6 winners were either first or second in par 4 scoring throughout the week at TPC Summerlin.
Indeed. To add on to Kevin Na quickly, he gained 3.5 strokes putting total in the event, which is an insane number. Another thing I want to add quickly to the stat department is we didn't put it on there because this was kind of my thing versus Kevin's thing here, but I think driving distance is going to play here. Kevin Na averaged 315 yards off the tee. Bryson, and we're talking skinny Bryson, we're not talking beefed up Bryson, averaged 312 yards off the tee. When he won, Cantlay 324 yards. So as much as I agree with the putting is pretty much the most important stat, I do think that if you're casually under 300 yards off the tee, you're going to have a harder time because then you have to hit your irons. The greens are massive, yes, but I think if you're long off the tee and can putt, you got a really good shot. And quickly on just ball striking and iron play and whatnot, Kevin Na was 61st in the field last year. So it's not, a huge deal. Bryson was 9th when he won, but he didn't putt as well as Kevin Na. So, I agree with you that they're going to have to putt, but I think they're also going to have to be long off the tee, strokes gained off the tee. I looked at a little bit when constructing these selections. So let's get into it. We'll start at the 10K range here, and obviously at the top, you see the U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau. Is he going to be long off the tee? Obviously. Is he going to putt? Probably not obviously, but he probably will. The way that I see it is if you can win the incredibly tough U.S. Open, you can probably win this event, especially since he's done it before. The 11.8 price tag is hefty, I think, for Bryson. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it because we both like him here, but 11.8 is a lot of your salary. Directly under him will be Webb. I have my concerns about Webb just because he's not long off the tee, but I know you feel strongly about Webb, I should say.
Yeah, I do. I think anybody 10K or above, I don't think there's a bad play there. I think if you have the salary and you've picked enough guys at the bottom to where you can get DeChambeau, good for you. Go for him. I don't think there's necessarily a wrong pick here. I think they will all do well at the tournament considering their course history is very, very good. Moving on to Webb Simpson, as you were mentioning, I just think he fits the mold of what you need here. Last year on tour, he was the leader of par 4 scoring. He was first on tour in birdie or better. He was 13th on tour in putting. And his course history at TPC Summerlin, he's 8 for 8, just making the cut since 2010. 5 of those last 8 have been tied 15th or better. I think he knows the course. He knows how he likes to play it. And I think he'll be able to come out and attack this course. With that being mentioned, I also like Patrick Cantlay at this 10K range. I think he's my second favorite guy just because of the fact that he has dominated this tournament for the past 3 years. He was a winner in 2018. He lost in a playoff, and he has another second-place finish to add to that. He was 21st in par 4 scoring last year and tied 18th in birdie or better. I think both of these guys will have a great chance at winning the event.
Agreed. I like Cantlay a lot, probably more than Webb, mostly because of the price. And I promise you, I love Webb more than most. I have Webb almost every single week. At the end of the year last year, I literally had him in every single week. But yeah, I like Cantlay. I can get to Webb. I don't know how much I will, but I can. And don't sleep on Tony Finau. That man is extremely long off the tee. His putting is okay. It's not great, but he's certainly not bad. So I think Finau could be your perfect storm player this week. So let's move on. Let's get to that 9K range, and this is where things get interesting for me. You'll see on your screen, you see your first players in the red for us here, and I'd imagine what you're thinking is, damn, Sergio just won the event. You put him in a thumbs down. We did. We'll get there. We're going to start with Hideki. Look, Hideki's long off the tee, strokes gained off the tee. He's tied for 38th. Par 4 scoring, he was tied for 14th last season and 26th in birdie or better last season. But look, if you're watching this video, I assume you know he's a horrible putter. He's not good with the flat stick, and we just spent 3 or 4 minutes telling you how important putting is going to be. With that being said, last year he finished 16th here. I didn't like Hideki solely for the putting, but I could not find I couldn't put him in the thumbs down area because he's just so good at everything else. So I would be cautious with Hideki, but I think he is definitely playable here. Moving down, Harris English over Colin Morikawa. I came home last night and told you I felt that way. You, I think, agreed with me there, but English was on a heater last year. The question is how much of that is legit. He finished 36th here last year. The year after that he was cut, and then in 17 he finished in 4th. So he knows the course. Morikawa finished in 42nd last year, but we know since then he's pretty much been on a heater. He's only missed, I think, 2 cuts ever. So it's hard to say there. I think the stats work better for English here. He's longer off the tee by a bit. He's a much better putter, at least he was last year. His par 4 scoring was tied 10th last year, where Morikawa's was 54th. Morikawa had a better birdie or better percentage last year, but I personally would go with English over Morikawa here. I'm not sure how you feel about that, but that's how I feel.
I feel the same way. I think Harris English is playing with a crazy amount of confidence right now. Last year was his best year so far on tour, and I just think he's going to carry over that to 2021 or this new coming season. I just think he's a great play. He does it all. He's very consistent in every aspect of the game, and I think he's going to do very well here.
Agreed, and it should be fair to mention that I've only had Morikawa twice. He missed both cuts. I'm the only person that apparently has Morikawa when he does bad, but it is what it is. From there, I want to talk about Matt Wolff a little bit, and I have him over Jason Day at the similar price point. And look, it's no disrespect to Jason Day. That man is very good when he's good. The problem is he's not good all the time. And neither is Matt Wolff, I will agree, but it is what it is. Matt Wolff last year finished 18th here. Jason Day hasn't played here since 2012. He finished 4th, but you can't really take that into account because in 2012, Jason Day was fully healthy. Now, Jason Day is kind of like Tiger for me. You never know what's going to happen with his back, which scares me. Last year, Wolff, 9th in driving distance, 311 average. Jason Day was under 300. That's big for me. Wolff was 12th in strokes gained off the tee last year. Jason Day was 72nd. Jason Day was a little bit of a better putter last year. Matt Wolff is not a great putter, but again, like Finau, he putts well enough to the point where he can make the putts and get hot like he did at the U.S. Open. So par 4 scoring, neither of them are great. Wolff's a little better, which concerns me, but Matt Wolff to me seems like a guy that I could be wrong here, but it just seems like he checks out sometimes. Like when he's not there, he's not there. You know what I mean? If it's bad, it's bad. But I think when he's playing well and makes the cut, he excels. He was better than Jason in birdie or better as well last year. I just think if you're willing to spend 9.5 on Jason Day, you got to spend 9.6 on Matt Wolff.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. I think Wolff, for me this week, is falling into the same category as Hideki. They're very, very good in everything off the tee, approach. I just think between the two of them, it's going to be whoever gets the flat stick going early.
Agreed for sure. The last thumbs up here in this range is again the third straight over under situation, and I surprised myself when I did this with old Sung Jae. If this was last year, I never would have considered having anybody compared to Sung Jae, but Sung Jae's been not too good at the end of last year. Actually, since the return, pretty much. My man's played every week, and then they made him go wherever his home is because it's been mentioned a lot on the broadcast that he plays every week, and he doesn't really have a home, if you will. So I think that threw him off. But I think he's back. So far in the season, 22nd at the U.S. Open, 28th last week. That's Sung Jae. He's a top, I would say top 20, but top 25, top 30 for this situation. But I think he's back in form at this point. Stats wise, he was 20th in strokes gained off the tee last year, which was worse than Paul Casey, just barely. He does average over 300 yards off the tee, which is fine with me. I just don't necessarily love guys that are significantly under that until we get to the 6K range. I have an interesting one for you that you haven't even seen yet. Don't know how you'll feel about it, but we'll talk about it when we get there. Sungjae, a significantly better putter than Paul Casey, 55th last year in strokes gained putting. Paul Casey was 165th. Par 4 scoring, they are tied. They were tied last year at 21st. And Sungjae, birdie or better, 25th. Paul Casey, 131st. So I like Paul Casey. He's one of the nicest guys on tour. And I don't necessarily think Paul Casey's a bad play this week. I just think Sungjae Im is a better play this week. In 2019, Sungjae finished 15th here. Paul Casey's never played here in all of his years. So if you're gonna spend 9.2 on Paul Casey, I'd spend 9.3 on Sungjae Im. So from there, we look over to the other side. Scottie Scheffler, he let me down last week, and thank goodness that we don't have that audio to play for people, because I was drinking the Kool-Aid on Scottie Scheffler last week, no doubt. I just don't like him at 9.4 when you can get Sungjae Im at 9.3, Matt Wolff at 9.6. That's just the only reason he's over there. I think he will play well. I just think you could get better value. Sergio at 9.1, he won, and I'm well aware he won. I just don't think that this is it for Sergio at this course. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. And Ricky, he's done well this course in the past, but again, I think if you're going to spend 9 on Ricky, spend 9.3 on Sungjae Im and just drop somebody, make a change at the bottom of your lineup. Because look, Ricky hasn't been that good recently either. He's coming into form a little bit, but he's been off for a little while now. I just don't like the price point at 9,000. If it was 8.5, 8.4, somewhere in there, I'm with it. I'm not there at 9.
I mean, last season we watched Ricky Fowler go through the swing change. He completely changed his swing, and I think he suffered massively from that for statistics last year. But I do think because of that, he'll come out this year a better golfer than he was. I think he got to the point, it's kind of like a Jordan Spieth situation. They've been good for so long, and sometimes things get stale. You need to make a change, and I think Ricky did that. He is one player in this field who's played at least 12 rounds here at TPC Summerlin, and over those 12 rounds, he has averaged gaining 1 stroke per round over his competition. With that being said, this isn't the Ricky who's been playing this course. He does have great course history. He has a 25th finish in 2016, a 4th in 2019, but he's only played the course twice since 2010. I'm just going to stay away from him this week because I don't think you know which Ricky you're going to get this week.
Agreed, and I could not agree more. And I think, again, if Ricky was not at 8.5, I'd consider it, because I don't love, you'll see here in a second, I don't love anybody 8.6, 8.5, 8.4. I don't like them. If Ricky was there, I'd absolutely go to Ricky. But you don't know what Ricky you're going to get. The $9,000 price tag for me is too much, and I think Ricky will be good at some point this year. I just don't think it's here yet. It's it's his first event, not the U.S. Open, but he's been off a few weeks, and I just can't go to him here.
And even growing up watching him, he's always been an incredible putter. When he changed the swing, I think you focus more on the driving range and you don't spend as much time on the putting green. So he hasn't been the putter he used to be since he changed his swing. And so I'm just very uncomfortable playing him this week.
Agreed. We are on the same page there. Let's get to the 8K range. As you see on your screen now, the most expensive guy in the 8K range is Jason Kokrak, and I can't go to Kokrak here. He's extremely long off the tee. I don't remember the exact number, but he's definitely in the top. He's long off the tee, trust me. And I just can't go to him here because the man can't putt. And it's a little different because Hideki can't putt, but Hideki is Hideki. Jason Kokrak is Jason Kokrak. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me there. So I can't go to him here at 8 and 9. Again, it's kind of a Ricky Fowler, but not so much. If he was cheaper, I'd go to him. He's hot, or he was hot at the end of last year, so I understand the price point. I just can't go to him. Because I don't trust that if he's on the green, if he's on a par 4 and 2, if he can't putt, what does it matter? So I don't like it here. If you're the top of the 8K range for me, as you will see, Louis Oosthuizen, Abraham Ancer, I consider them pretty much equal because each one of them does things well that the other necessarily doesn't. Ancer is much better in strokes gained off the tee. Oosthuizen has more distance. Ancer is a little bit better putter, but Oosthuizen is good enough. Ancer's better par 4 scoring. Not by a ton, but by enough. I think these guys are very similar this week. However, Louis Oosthuizen has never played this course, which surprised me a lot, actually, because, Louis has been around, but he's never played this course. Ancer was cut last year, and the year before, in 19, he finished in 4th. So I'd be fine with either of them. Oosthuizen's hot. Ancer has burned me a lot recently at the end of last year. I'm not going to take personal trauma into this yet, but I could go with either of them at this point.
Yeah, I like Ancer here. He's one of the best ball strikers on tour. He putts pretty decently. He does everything pretty decently. He's just a very consistent guy. I like him more than Oosthuizen just because of this consistency. I think he's going to hit a lot of greens. I think he's going to put a lot of balls close. And I think he will end up finishing probably, if I had to guess, in the top 25 this year.
Agreed. And I'm going to flip over now to the thumbs down area again. And I like Kevin Na. I'm a fan of Kevin Na's. I'd love to see him walk in some putts. But let's be real with ourselves here. He put it out of his mind last year. Can he do it again? Probably not. He's priced at 8.6, which I think is fair because he won the tournament. You got to do that when somebody wins the tournament. I'm fine with all that. I just can't get there at 8.6 because I like so many other players in the 8K range that are, $300, $500, dollars less. No disrespect to Kevin Na, I just can't get there. Zach Johnson at 8.5. He's been playing well, but once again, at 8.5, I don't know how you can go with Zach Johnson. He's not great off the tee. He's a decent putter, though. But my worry with Zach Johnson at 8.5 is can he get low enough, birdie-wise? Because, like you said, this cut is going to be low. And, just looking into it, you had guys last year that were 69, 68 missing the cut, or a couple years ago. Anyway, you have to get low here, and I just worry about Zach Johnson there. Russell Henley is another one at 8.4. I know you love Russell Henley, and I did this when you were not paying attention and put him in the thumbs down. I'm not saying you love him here, but you love him in general as a golfer. But I can't get to Russell here. He was not good off the tee last year. He wasn't that great putting either. And again, it's mostly because of what you can get in the same price range for cheaper, and that's where I'm at with those. Any argument on the Russell Henley front?
No, I completely agree with that. I do like Russell Henley, but I have two guys below Russell Henley still in the 8K range that I like a lot more than him this week. Those two players are being Cameron Davis and Brian Harman. I'm going to let you talk about Cameron Davis. You're a big fan.
I am. And just to go chronologically here, or whatever that word would be, I'll start with Will Zalatoris, just because he's priced above Cam Davis. I'll quickly get this out of the way. I disrespected this man in my house, or my apartment, last week because he was priced ridiculously high. I said some things about this man that I was wrong about. He wasn't great last week, but he was priced. Do you remember the number? Was it double digits?
I think it definitely was.
I think it was 10K.
He was definitely 10K.
And I was not thrilled with that. So I didn't like it. So now this week at 8.3, I like it a little more. Last year on the Korn Ferry Tour, which is where all these stats are coming from, but he still averaged 314 yards off the tee. That is a long way. So I like that. He was first in greens and regulation on the Korn Ferry Tour, which I know we're not worried about because these greens are massive. But if my man was first on the Korn Ferry Tour, my man's going to hit every green this week. So if he was 30th or better, or 30th and birdie or better, if he can just get the putter going, I like him. I don't know how much personally I will go to him, just because I love Cameron Davis. But I think he's playable at 8.3 without a doubt. So now, slide down to Cameron Davis, my guy. Last week, Cameron Davis was one of my selections on Pro Golf Now. If you know what I'm talking about and you are here because you read my articles, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a link in our on our YouTube channel. I write undervalued and sleeper selections for Pro Golf Now. Go check them out. Although you're getting a lot of information here, if you want to read it, go ahead. I'll have more information on each player. There'll be 5 or 6 players, all under the 8-3 price point. Last week, Cameron Davis was on there. And I'll probably have Cameron Davis again this week. He was, last season, 20th in driving distance, 308 on the average. I'm cool with that. 55th in strokes gained off the tee. Cool with that. Tied for 54th in par 4 scoring. Cool with that. And 14th in birdie or better. Like it. In 2019, he finished 28th here. This guy's playing well right now. I like Cameron Davis a lot. And I think he's a good play. I mean, I'm maybe biased a little bit, but I think he's definitely a good play. He'll be on most of my rosters, so hopefully he does not let me down. Before we get to Kevin's guy and Brian Harman, I just want to mention Mr. Neiman here. I like him. I wrote a featured piece about him for the website I was just mentioning, but for some reason I never got it published, and now I can't find it on my computer. It's a mess. Anyway, last year he was 26th in strokes gained off the tee, 21st in par 4 scoring, 54th in birdie or better, and he averages just over 300 yards off the tee, so I'm cool there. He's not a good putter. He's not a good putter, which scares me a bit. At 8-1, though, it doesn't scare me as much as like Kokrak at 8-9 type thing. But I think overall Neiman is a better golfer than Kokrak, so I trust him. Last year he did get cut from this event. It's definitely worth saying. The year before that, he finished in 10th. I think you can play him. For me personally, I will be playing Cameron Davis, and I'll stop talking about it now. But I think Neiman is definitely playable here. The two guys finishing up the 8K range, Brian Harman and Keegan Bradley, was put in this graphic by none other than Jenks himself, so I'll let him tell you why he put him there.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Brian Harman. It's crazy kind of to me to look back on his stats from last year. He was 28th on tour in strokes gained total. That's incredible for a guy who does not get any media attention, any attention at all, honestly. I don't ever hear people talking about Brian Harman being a great golfer, but he really is. Last year, he was 21st in scoring average. He was 40th in birdie average, but he also is very, very good around the green. He finished 15th around the green. So even if he does get into bad spots this week, I'm fairly confident he's going to be able to get like up and down, and I don't think he's going to have too many bogeys on his card. He is very good on the par 4s. He was 14th on tour. He played at 3.97 across the board from last year on the par 4s, and he is very good at this course. He's played 5 times. He's missed the cut once. He has a 15th in 2017, and he finished 18th in 2020. I really, really like Brian Harman for being 8,000.
I'm with you on Brian Harman. I believe he's disrespected a lot in the, I guess you could say, media world. I think he's a very good golfer. What's the deal with Keegan Bradley?
I don't have much against Keegan Bradley here. He's not a great putter statistically. He did play very, very well last week. But I just think for 8,000, I think you're paying a bit too much considering he's not a guy who wins a lot. And I don't think he's going to be able to repeat what he did last weekend. With that being said, I could be very wrong, but I'm personally going to stay away from him.
And yeah, I think that's fair because you like Brian Harman so much. So if you're going to spend $8,000, you pick Brian Harman. If you're going to spend $8,000 and you maybe have $200 to spare, you pick Cameron Davis. And now I'm done talking about it this time. I'll try my best not to come talk about Cameron Davis again. So with that, let's move to the 7K range. Obviously, the graphic stays the same in the number of players in the graphic. This is where you're really going to want to listen, I guess you can say. I've gone through with everybody in the 7K range and kind of done my own rankings, so I'll give those to you. We're not just going to talk about these guys. but we are going to talk about these guys because the most expensive player in 7K range is Doc Redman. I played Doc last week. A model of consistency, shooting 72, 70. What was it, 70 or 7? What was the par last week?
It was a 72. He shot 70.
70, 70, 70, 69.
Yeah.
So model of consistency. I'm a big Doc guy. I follow Doc on Instagram. He did indeed make it to Vegas. He posted a picture of Floyd Mayweather's jet on the tarmac when he got off his jet. So Doc's ready to roll in Vegas, and you like Doc.
I do like Doc a lot. Like you said, he's just very consistent. He hits a ton of greens. So with that being said, considering the greens are massive, I think he's going to put a lot of balls close. I think he's going to be able to attack. And if he gets his putter going, I think he's a very, very high upside for being in the 7K range.
Agreed, and you led me right into high upside. Cameron Smith is there for me. I like Doc as well, so don't get me wrong there, but I do like Cameron Smith as well. Again, this is one you did not see until I think right now, or when you maybe edited it a little bit, but Cam Smith last year averaged 299.8 yards off the tee, so I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say he doesn't hit the ball 300 yards because he does, but he doesn't technically, but I'm fine with 299.8. 46 in strokes gained putting last year. I'm fine with that. Last year at this event, he finished 13th in 2017, which is a while ago. It's hard to compare, but he finished 10th. So he knows the golf course. He's played well on the golf course, and I can go to Cameron Smith at 7-8. I mean, if Cameron Smith was priced at 8-4, no, because I play Cameron Davis at 8-2. But at 7-8, I can play some Cam Smith for sure. Charlie Hoffman, just going in numerical order, I guess would be the word. Can't get to Charlie here. At 7-8, I'm playing Cam Smith over Charlie Hoffman. That's just what it is. At 7-7, you got the world's best putter, Denny McCarthy.
Yeah, I love Denny McCarthy. He actually did an interview. I forget exactly what it was called. They're drinking in the clubhouse. They were asked to give their ideal golfer, and when it came to putting, he chose himself.
Yeah.
I respect that so much. I feel like you have to believe in yourself to be able to play well, and I think with his putting abilities, I think he was first on tour last year, and I believe in 2019 he was first on tour as well. The guy can putt, so as long as he gets his irons going. It doesn't even have to be all 4 days because I know he's not going to put 4 rounds together where his irons are consistently good. But I think if he just puts the ball in decent enough places, he's going to make a lot of putts. He's going to make a lot of putts, and I think this is a course where he can shoot very, very low.
I agree, and I called him the best putter in the world. He called himself the best putter in the world. He is the best putter in the world. Last year, he gained a total of 64 strokes putting, which is a bit insane in 65 measured rounds. So just, really think about that. It's a stroke a round that he's gaining on the greens. The second in that stat last year was Matt Fitzpatrick. He gained 38 strokes in 44 rounds, so it's not close. It's not. In my opinion, it's not. Denny McCarthy's the best putter in the world.
He's also coming off a tied 6th last week.
Right.
I think he's got it all going. I think he's a great play this week for his price.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I'll have some Denny. Moving now through some guys that are not on the graphic. JT Poston would be next in your salary chart. He got cut last year and the year before from this event, but in 2018 he finished in 4th. He's 14th in strokes gained putting last year on the tour, 75th in strokes gained off the tee. You can play him here. I don't know how much I will. But he's not a thumbs down. This guy, he's not a thumbs down. Believe me, there's a lot of guys that I have thumbs down here. I'll tell you, he's not one of them. If we had a third graphic, he'd be right there in the middle. Another guy that'd be right there in the middle is Cameron Champ, and he intrigues me like no other. And I'll tell you why. He hits at 300 and either 22 or 32. I can't read my own writing. Off the tee, this man is second on tour only to beefed up Bryson. Second in strokes gained off the tee. This man hits it a mile. The question is, will he do anything else? If he does, he can win the tournament. If he doesn't, he can miss the cut. So again, I could play Cameron Champ. I don't know how much I will, but I could. He was once again either 22nd or 32nd in birdie or better percentage last year. I can't read my own writing. I think it's a 3. He'll go 32, which is pretty respectable. He was cut last year. He finished in 28th in 2019. I think this is a perfect price point for Cameron Champ because he could go off.
I agree completely with you there. I also want to throw this out there. I was doing a little reading this morning just before we started up the show. He has 2 career PGA wins. Both of them have been the second event he has played that year.
Okay.
This is going to be the second event he played this year. I don't know how much weight I would put into that.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, it could happen.
I could play some Cameron Champ, so I'm with that. If anyone needs Cameron Champ signed hats, I got some. So just leave a comment. You might have saw the beginning of the video. Rick Grimes is watching over us in the video. So if you don't know me personally, I am one of those people that collects the autographs. But if you need Cameron Champ signed hats, I got some. Anyway, next would be Matt Kuchar. I can't go to Matt here. He's not long off the tee. He can putt well, no doubt, but he's not long off the tee. I can't get to it. Especially with guys like Poston and Champ right in the same price point. Siwoo, I can't get there. I don't know who the real Siwoo Kim is at this point. Sometimes he looks unbeatable. Sometimes he looks Corn Fairy Tour-like. Siwoo Kim is the biggest gamble at any point in time because most of the time he's bad. At some point he will be good. You just got to risk it for the biscuit, I guess. I won't be doing that. Harold Varner would be next. Harold Varner we talked about last night. Surprisingly, maybe surprisingly is not the right word. I don't want to disrespect this man, but stats pretty good. 17th last year in strokes gained off the tee. 49th in driving distance. I meant to write down the total distance, but I don't have it. I could play some Harold Varner, especially with the guys around him at their prices. I could. I don't know how much I will, but he's definitely not a thumbs down. One person who is a thumbs down would be Aaron Wise. If people watch this video and come back weeks at a time, you'll find out my history with Aaron Wise. Very friendly dude, nice guy. Yeah, I'm not ready to be hurt again. From there, Sam Burns. I've questioned putting him on the graphic, except I loved my bottom 2 guys a lot more. Sam Burns was cut from this event 2 straight years, finished 20th and 18th in 2018. Last season, he was 16th in strokes gained off the tee, 8th in driving distance, 312 yards on the average, 30th in strokes gained putting. I like Sam Burns. The missed cuts here scare me because it's back-to-back ones. He's playing really good. He played really good last year. He's playing well now. I don't think he misses the cut here. But I'd be skeptical of Sam Burns. But he's definitely not a thumbs down. If I had 6 spots in my graphic, he'd be 6th. But I don't. From there, Ryan Palmer can't do it. Snedeker, I can't do it. Some other people that I have seen like Snedeker here, I can't do it. Ches Reavie is not long off the tee and not a great putter. So that's why he makes the graphic here. Stuart Sink, he won, but I can't get there. Dylan Fratelli, I can't get there. Brennan Steele, I can't get there. And the last person on my thumbs down graphic is Emiliano Grillo. And I didn't put him there. So did you put him there?
Yep.
Okay, why'd you put him there?
I sure did. I feel like when you're golfing, if you go golfing, anybody who's watching this has gone golfing.
Probably.
You need to be able to putt. It's fairly crucial. It's a big part of the game. Everybody does it every single hole. And when you're second to last on tour in putting, only above Bill Haas, I can't get to him here. He's great with his irons. He's decent off the tee. He can't putt.
No.
And history at this course has showed us that most years it's a putting contest. I don't think Rio's winning that contest unless something just mind-blowing has happened this past week. So I'm putting him thumbs down.
Okay, and it's funny you mentioned bad putters because right after that, it's Ben On in the price point. Ben On can't putt. And I just think it should be mentioned. Ben On is either 7-2 or 7-1 this week. I don't have the number in front of me. But he's definitely in that price point, either at 7-2 or 7-1. My man was $10,000 last week. 10,000 to 7-1. That's not even Corn Fairy God bad. That's bad. Ben On, once again, nice guy. Can't putt. From there, Joel Damon. I have some serious trauma with Joel. Joel's lost me some money. I made comments about his hat that I probably shouldn't have. That will not be repeated on air. I can't get to Joel here. His stats aren't horrible, but I just can't do it. Adam Hadwin. Love Adam Hadwin. Not this week, though. Can't get to Adam Hadwin here. He's not long enough off the tee. He putts decently, but not long enough for me. And that's where we get to someone I can get to at the 7-3 range is the fourth member of our graphic, Lonto Griffin. Lonto, I was surprised when I pulled it up because I just kind of, maybe I'm disrespectful, but I just kind of assumed Lanto's not going to be the guy you play. I was wrong. Last year, he 86 in strokes gained off the tee. It's all right. He averages over 300 yards off the tee at 302. I can mess with that. 39th in strokes gained putting, which is definitely respectable enough. Tied for 54th in par 4 scoring, and tied 67th in birdie or better. And again, at the price point, the stats are good enough. I mean, at 7-3, you probably don't have a guy that's going to win the tournament, but I don't know. I like him. I got a feeling last year he finished 18th here. I can mess with Lanto, especially because I don't like Sneds. I don't like Reavie. I don't like Palmer. I like Burns, but he's priced more. I can mess with some Lanto here. The last man you will see on our positive 7K graphic is another one I did without your consultants, I guess would be the word. But I don't really care. I'm going with Mr. Ventura here. He was tied for 66 last season in strokes gained off the tee, 28th in driving distance, averaging 305 yards. 4th strokes gained putting. 4th. He's no Denny McCarthy, but he's putting it a little bit, and he's certainly no. Who did you just fry to death? Grillo. Yeah. So 19th in birdie or better for Ventura, and tied for 41st in par 4 scoring. Last year he finished in 18th here. I like him. 7-1. Didn't expect the stats to be that good, so I would look up everybody.
I was impressed when I came out this morning from my room and saw him on there.
Yeah.
Because I also am a big fan of him this week.
Yeah, I'm there. So you'll see him again if you missed it earlier. You'll see him in my articles that I write for Pro Golf Now for undervalued and sleeper selections. Like him here a lot, especially at the price point. I mean, this is a guy that has top. What would you say? Top. I don't want to oversell it, but top 10, top 15. If he gets on a heater, I mean, he's a good putter. Hit some fairways. If he hits some greens, this guy could finish. This guy could sneak up on you. Finishing out the 7K range under him would be Kevin Streelman, Pat Perez, Rory Sabatini. Pat Perez had a really good finish here a couple years ago. Top, 5, I forget what it was, but, I mean, how much weight can you pull on that? I have some serious trauma with Pat. Last time I played him, my man quit in the second round because of his foot. No disrespect, Pat. I'm sure it hurt, but I can't mess with that, bro. I'm sorry. I just can't mess with it. So, yeah, that's the 7K range. And let's go to the 6K range. Once again, I priced almost everybody in the 6K range. I did everyone from 6'9 to 6'5. And then pulled my favorites in the 6'4", 6'3", 6'2", 6'1", and 6'0 range. Starting at the top, can't play Kyle Stanley. Played him last week. He let me down. I'm not playing him because he let me down, but that does make me a little mad. But at the same price point, you get Adam Schenk, right? Schenk? Is that yes, there we go. Adam Schenk. Last year, he finished in a tie for 18th here. He was cut in 2019, but in 2018, he finished 20th. So you can look at that one of two ways. He finishes top 20 here, or every other year he gets cut, which means he'd be cut this year. So make your own decision there. He averages 302 yards off the tee last year, 79th in strokes gained putting, 41st in both par 4 scoring average and off the tee strokes gained. So, yeah, for 6'9", Adam Schenk, I could do it. I don't know how much I will, but I could do it. Harry Higgs, I can't do Harry Higgs here. Love Harry Higgs though. Got a deep connection to Harry Higgs. Can't go Harry Higgs here. Norlander finished well last week. I talked about him a little bit in our mock, which obviously we don't have the video or anything because there was none. But trust me, I talked about him last week, and he finished well. We should have had him in our graphic, but I didn't talk about him enough. Anyway, Tringale, You'll find out shortly that we love Tringale here. Pretty much, Wesley Bryan, Adam Hadwin, Cameron Tringale, huge fans. However, can't mess with Tringale this week. Which brings me to Maverick McNeely. Once again, a great putter, 9th in strokes gained last year. Tied for 35th in birdie or better. He finished 37th at this event last year. I could play Maverick McNeely. I don't know how much I will, but at the price point, in the high-ish 6K range, I could play Maverick if you needed somebody there. I can't read my own writing. Oh, Hoagie, Tom, Hogue, whatever. Don't play him. I just can't this week. Scott Stallings had a good finish last week, which I expected because he had the course record in Mississippi before he got there. I can't play him this week. Carlos Ortiz was interesting. These next two are very interesting for me. Carlos Ortiz last year finished tied for 37th. First time he had played the course since 2015. In 2015, he finished 18th. So he knows the course a bit. He averaged just, and I mean just, over 300 yards off the tee last year, 300.3. 84th in strokes gained putting, so he's not good, but he's not horrible. And tied for 54th in par 4 scoring average. I'm just trying to give you options, man. You could play Carlos Ortiz. You don't have to, but you could. At the price point, yeah, I mean, could he make the cut? Probably. Will he? Can't tell you that. But I think it's worth considering when you've got all these other big X's around him. Directly under him in the price point, Patrick Rogers. Was it last week you were high on Patrick Rogers that nobody heard?
Yeah.
Was that a good thing? I don't know what happened. No? Okay.
But with that being said, I didn't even talk about him.
There you go. So this week I'm going to be high on Patrick Rogers for some reason he was 18th in driving distance last year, 308.5 yards. I said, okay. 55th in strokes gained off the tee. I said, all right. 11th in strokes gained putting. That's literally what I was looking for. Long and can putt. So I said, all right. Looked at the course history. Got cut last year. Finished 41st in 2019 and was cut in 18 and 17. So, look, this guy hasn't played well on this course, but in my mind, he might. Anything's possible. So, the stats intrigued me. I'm not telling you to run the man out there, but the stats intrigued me. Him and Ortiz, both of them, are intriguing. From there, Tyler Duncan, the pride and joy of Columbus, Indiana. I can't play him. I'm sorry. I played Tyler a lot last year, but I like him. Danny Lee can't get there. I'm Brian Stewart. You will see on our graphic. Just don't. I looked up the stats. It's pretty bad. I wouldn't do it. Max Homa is another one that I can't do. And I put Max Homa on the graphic because most people know Max Homa. And I'm just trying to let you know I wouldn't do it here. Molinari, not to be confused with Molinari. I can't play Molinari. I also can't play Molinari. But before we talk about Molinari, tell me about Chesson Hadley. I looked up the stats this morning. Pleasantly surprised, and then I see the graphic, and you already had it on there, so I was late to the game there.
Yeah. So if you're just going on the PGA website, you can see performance recaps. Nothing catches your eye, really, with Chesson Hadley here. He finished last year 83rd in strokes gained total. He's not too long, but he is 22nd on tour last year in driving accuracy and 20th in greens and regulation. That's not necessarily what I like the most about him. In 2018, he finished here 4th place. 2019, he came back 7th place. In 2020, 18th. There's not many times when I'm going through my DraftKings and I really, really want Chesson Hadley. This is one of those times.
Okay.
This is one of those times.
Okay. Yeah, Chesson Hadley. Okay, I can mess with Chesson Hadley. Real quick, it should be mentioned. I meant to mention this earlier because there's only a few people I know that are going to watch this video, so I have to throw this out there. I was wearing a Purdue jacket at the top. You saw. I did not go to Purdue. My mom went there for 6 weeks. Now that's on the internet. But sorry, Mom. But I got to give some love. Tyler Duncan went to Purdue. I'm not picking him this week, but whatever. Adam Schenk also went to Purdue. Got to show some love. Also, for someone out there interested, Adam Schenk was born in Vincennes, Indiana, so you know who I'm talking to. If you are listening to this video, again, sorry, Mom. I definitely just fried you. I shouldn't have said that, and I'm not going to edit it out. Francesco Balladari at 6'7". I put him on the graphic because most people know Francesco. I think the price point is fair. My man has not played since February. The last time anybody saw Francesco, we saw Francesco at the Players' Championship. We were out there on Tuesday and Wednesday, and we saw Francesco, signed some autographs for us. Lovely guy. You were in the middle of losing your phone when Francesco was signing autographs for us, if you can remember that.
Yeah.
Crazy story.
Priorities.
Yeah, priorities for sure. All that being said, I wouldn't play him. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen out there. I mean, he wasn't playing well before the shutdown. We haven't seen him since February. I mean, I'm just telling you not to play him because it scares me that he hasn't played and you literally have no idea what's going to happen, and he wasn't good.
I just think we haven't seen him in a long time, like you said. There is the possibility he does go out and play really well, but I think there's a much bigger possibility that he doesn't.
I agree.
And so I just can't go with him this week. Okay. I need to see him a couple times.
Absolutely. Agreed. Same thing with Rafa. I think a lot of people, maybe not a lot, but I think people should know Rafa Cabrera Bello. Priced directly under Molinari. Can't do it. I just can't do it. The stats aren't there for me. Nice guy. Can't do it. From there, the next would be Matt Jones. I literally wrote down
Okay.
E-H. I guess. And everybody else I put an X. I put an for Matt Jones. That's the only thing I put for anybody. It was the only time I put that. So, play him, don't play him.
I guess
don't know.
proceed with caution.
Proceed with caution. That's a good one. From there, Troy Merritt is directly under him. Troy Merritt is not good off the tee. He's not. 23rd in strokes gained putting last year. 4 straight made cuts at this event. So at 6, whatever that would be, 6'5", 6'6", something like that, you can consider Troy Merritt. I mean, he's going to make some putts. I don't know how long it's going to take him to get there. But 4 straight made cuts, what else can you ask for at that price point? A lot of X's after that. Lewis, Naismith, Knox, Piercy. I'd leave them off your team this week. Russell Knox let me down big time last week. From there, we get to Bo Hostler. $6,500. He was put on the graphic before I even saw it. So tell me about him.
Well, Bo Hostler, he struggles at one part of his game, and that's strokes gained approach. I'm not too concerned, considering the greens are massive. This year so far, he's been outstanding. He's 3 for 3 in cuts made, and I say outstanding in a price sense. At 6,500, he's been outstanding.
Absolutely.
He's also 30th in birdie average. He is capable of sinking a lot of birds, and that's what you're going to need here. You're going to need to shoot low, and he clearly has shown so far this year that he can do that. He's also 22nd in par 4 scoring, and like we mentioned earlier in the video, 4 of the last 6 winners have been first or second in par 4 scoring throughout the week. I really like him here. Not only is he 3 for 3 cuts made this year, he's 3 for 3 at TPC Summerlin, with the worst finish being 29th in 2020. He has 23rd in 2019 and 7th in 2018. I think he's playing well right now, and I think he loves this course. I think it's a recipe for success with Bo Hostler.
I like it. I like it. At the same price point as Sepp Straka. Straka? What did I say? Straka, okay. I'm not going to rain on your Bo Hostler parade, but they're at the same price point. Straka was tied for 38th in strokes gained off the tee last year, averaged 302 yards of distance. So, decent putter, 53rd on tour. I can mess with that a bit, especially at the price point. He played the par 4s over par just barely last year, which is a little scary. 122nd in birdie or better, a little scary. So, I would say your number one option here is my man Bo. I'd say your second option is Step. I'd consider it a little bit. Can't go to McCumber, can't go to Hubbard, can't go to Swafford, although he won. I'm pretty much hating on the winners, except beefed up Bryson.
I mean, it's pretty safe to say you're not going to repeat when you're in the 6K range on FanDuel, or DraftKings.
Hey, bro, don't tell Brendan Todd last year.
You're not wrong.
I don't know if he would have repeated after he won. in the fall. I don't know. I don't know what his price was. I wonder if we can find that out. We're not going to find that out now because we're doing this live and we're not going to find it out, but I do wonder. But anyway, I agree with what you're saying. So that's the 6 to 6'5" range. I'm going to run you down one option in the 6'4", 6'3", 6'2", 6'1", and $6,000 ranges before we get out of here. At the 6'4" range, you'll see on the graphic, I like Richie Werwinski. Is that how you say it? Werwinski? I can't speak. Over JB Holmes, and I put him on the graphic because most people know JB. They're at the same price point. So I'd imagine if you're all you have left in salary is 6'4", and you say, oh, JB Holmes, I know who that is. I wouldn't do that. I'd play Richie instead. Here's why. 21st in strokes gained putting last year on tour. 69th in birdie or better percentage for Richie. It's not great, but it's $6,400. JB, the injuries, the not playing, it all scares me there. Richie plays. In 2019, he finished 23rd here. In 2018, he finished 51st. So what I see in that is he's getting better. So I could play some Richie here at 6,400. I don't know how much, but I could. From there, let's go to 6,300. I put him on the graphic. I didn't even realize. Heck yeah. Okay, Will Gordon is on the graphic. I didn't know. This is first time playing this course, this event, so I can't tell you anything prior. What I can tell you, 308 yards off the tee last year, 17th on tour. 14th in strokes gained off the tee. 24th in birdie or better. Tied for 54th in par 4 scoring average. But once again, will he putt? But I like the idea that he could get hot with the putter. There's not really any proven history there, but he could. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, it's also, I'm going to mention this. Me and Will Gordon have a bit of a you and Aaron Wise situation going on. He's hurt me 1 to 4 too many times. Okay. With that being said, I'm not playing him. If you want to play him, this is your week because I don't have him.
Perfect. You heard it here first. If Jenks is playing Will Gordon, don't play him. So, but he's not. So I think you could play Will Gordon this week. I understand the personal trauma. I've got it big time with Aaron Wise. Again, great guy. But Will Gordon here, I think he fits the mold a little bit. The putting is going to be a problem, but at $6,300, I think he's making the cut just by blasting it off the tee and just eventually running into a putt or two. I could play him. $6,200. This was tough. I could not find anybody in the $6,200 range for a long time, so I just went with Scott Harrington. First time playing at the course, 24th in driving distance last year, 307 yards off the tee. 49th in strokes gained off the tee. 85th in strokes gained putting. So he's going to hit it long. He's not the worst putter in the world. If you have $6,200, you pick him. From here, we go to the $6,100 range, and we find Wyndham Clark, baby. Well, Wyndham Clark makes an appearance on the first show. What a surprise. Wait till you get to the... Yeah, I don't know. So at 2020, in last year's event, which was technically the 2020 season, that part gets confusing, so that's why we try to say last year and this year and a couple years, whatever. Last year's event, which actually was in 2020, he got cut. In 2019, he finished in 57th. But he's $6,100. So 57th is pretty solid at $2,100. Last year, he was 32nd on tour in driving distance, 305 yards on the average. 71st in birdie or better. 16th in strokes gained putting. Wyndham Clark is rolling them in. Look, he doesn't really do anything else well, but I don't care about anything else this week. If you blast it down there, get it up on the green somehow, and make a putt, it's a birdie. How about that? So Wyndham Clark at $6,100. I could do it. $6,000. Oh, yes, I'm dad. I think you have some dad.
I do have something to add in the 6,300.
I forgot. About that.
Well, I don't even think we need to mention this because if you're still watching at this point in the video, I think we're coming up on an hour.
Yeah.
You're either our parents, have very little going on during the day, or a fucking diehard, okay? All right, so I don't think I need to mention this for the diehards watching this. Fabian Gomez, in case, hear me out here. When you're playing golf, you want to either be very long are pretty damn accurate. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not either of those. He's 285th on tour in driving distance, 156th in greens and regulation, and only gains strokes around the green. There's not many players who will be around the green this week. I don't think Fabian's going to be able to play to his strength.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily think that needed to be said, but I wouldn't play him.
And I'm sorry I forgot that. Like I said, I did everyone in the 6'5", 6'9", 6'5", so I had that all listed, and then I had my people. I wasn't looking at the graphic because I knew nobody was on it. I guess that was my fault, dude. I messed that up because Will Gordon's on my graphic, but you know, I should have known because that was the first thing I saw on the graphic last
Yeah.
night. You put him on there right away.
He was the first person I looked up.
You do that. You had me look him up last week, too, for some reason.
Yep.
You're just trying to fry this man.
Well, yeah, but it's safe to say Will Gordon at 6,300, you can get a decent golfer, and his name's not Fabian.
Okay, right on. As Jenks mentioned, we're probably running up on an hour. If you are listening at this point, we really appreciate you. We understand that you're probably not, but hopefully, if you are still listening, or you only are listening for the 6K range, you use the timestamps that we put on and found out some options. And this right here is the last option at $6,000. Give me some Andrew Putnam. Is that his name, Andrew? Adam. I think it's Adam. What's his name? Adam,
To be
Andrew.
honest, I can't give you much other than his last name's Putnam, and his first name's either Andrew or Adam.
It's Andrew.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Andrew.
I said it right. Give me some Andrew Putnam, damn it. All right. You ready for this? $6,000. He's third in strokes gained on tour last year in putting. Third.
Okay.
Rolling him in. Here's the kicker. A term you're going to hear us use a lot here is DFL.
Yeah.
It means dead something last.
Yeah.
Fill in the word. I'm not afraid to say it. I say it 10 to 12 times a day, and 10 times 12 is an hour. But he's DFL last year in driving distance and strokes gained off the tee. So I'm totally contradicting everything I've said. But he's $6,000. If you only have $6,000, you pick up Andrew Putnam. Here's another reason why. Last year he finished 18th here.
Okay.
In looking like 18, according to my writing, he was cut.
Okay.
In 2015, 33rd. 2015 I don't care about. 2018 I care about a little bit. 2020 I care about a lot. 18th. So he figured out a way to finish in the top 20 while being DFL off the tee.
So what you're basically saying, in a recap, if you're trying to have DeChambeau, Webb, and either Finau or Cantlay, Putnam.
Okay.
PGA Tour winner Putnam, who won the Barracuda in 2018. Andrew Putnam, $6,000. Play the man, DFL. Alrighty. We're finally through it. How about that? We are finally... Oh, we're not through it.
You gotta give our picks.
Yeah, we're finally through all the golfers, and the last thing we're going to do here each and every week is give you our picks. So here's how this is going to work. You want to do one or two? Like, only use them once or twice?
Let's use them once.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you a pick each and every week. We're going to give you one pick to win. We're going to give you one pick kind of out there to finish top 25. We'll do top 25. And so here's the deal with the pick to win. The top 25 pick can be anybody, anytime. The pick to win, we're only picking them once per year. So whoever we're picking this week, we're not picking until after the Tour Championship in 2021. That is a long way away. So be smart about this pick because you don't want to pick a guy. I could be wrong because I have no idea what you're going to do. Don't pick a Bryson DeChambeau in the first event of the year, probably, right?
Yeah, I completely agree.
Um,
Do you want to play along at home, Mrs. Kurtz or Mrs. Lyons? What we're going to do is a FedEx Cup points. Wherever our guys finish, we will take their FedEx Cup points and we'll add them up each week.
And if you are somebody that's not the two people just mentioned and you want to play along at home, comment on the video. Tell us who you're picking. We'll throw your picks into the FedEx Cup points if you want to play along. We need friends.
Yeah.
So just come play along. We don't really. We're open to having anyone here. Jenks, I'm going to throw it to you mostly because I have no idea who I'm picking and I'm going to figure it out on the fly. Jenks, who's winning?
I think I'm going to go with the best putter in the world.
Really?
Just because this is a course where putting is crucial, and I'm not so certain he's going to win at all this year or again this year.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna pick Denny. I'm gonna get him out of the way. I think this is the course for him. I'm not fairly confident he's gonna win the thing, but I think I'll get some FedEx Cup points out of this one.
Okay. I really had something I wanted to say here, but I didn't. I'm saving that for the top 25.
Okay.
I'm also picking the 7K golfer to win this week. I'm going with my man that I'm not quite sure how to say his first name. Ventura, baby.
Okay.
Give me Chris. What do we think? We think it's Christopher?
Yeah,
It's probably.
Yeah.
I don't give a ooh.
I already said the F word.
Yeah, but I didn't. Give me Christopher Ventura this week at $7,100 to win the tournament. So just to recap, Denny, not to be confused with Jenny McCarthy. Christopher Ventura, who's finished in top 25.
Chesson Hadley, the skinniest man in the world.
Where was Justin? 6K? 7K?
6'7".
No, what range? Yeah, 6K range. Sorry. Oh, when you said 6'7", I thought you meant his height. I'm like, no way.
No, 6,700.
Okay. Yeah,
I think he is tall, not that tall. Very, very skinny. Chesson Hadley, top 25.
Give me Andrew Putnam, top 25.
Okay.
Give me Andrew Putnam for the second time. Oh my goodness, we're finally done. Look, if you're still here, God bless you. If somebody watches this video through, leave a comment. We'll send you like $1 PayPal. We appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
I'm not sending any PayPal to anyone with the last name Kurtz or Lyons.
If you are still watching this, you're a real one. Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, we had a good time. We talked some golf. We hope we hope we can help you. And our goal. We know you're not going to listen to the whole thing. Find the timestamp you need. Go find your range that you're questioning about, and go listen to what we have to say. We think we're pretty spot on here.
At the end of the day, I think we're just having fun.
Agreed. No doubt. That's going to do it for the first episode of Fantasy From The Fairway. Holy crap, I forgot the name. Do me a favor, by the time you watch this video, if you're still here, we should have an Instagram, a Twitter, a Facebook. Go like them, go follow them. And do the same here. Subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you're talking about. We'd love to see it. Let me know. Let us know.
And with that, I think we play the outro music.
Jenks, play us out.